So what this video is going to go over is how to do graphing in Vernier graphical analysis. And I'm going to use the example of atomic radii of the data that I'm going to be putting into the graph. And then you could use this for subsequent periodic trend graphs or anything else. So what you will see here is I have a group of data. I have period 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have their atomic number, which is going to be on the x-axis, and on the y-axis is going to be the radius. So I'm going to switch my screen and go to graphical analysis. And so when you get to this screen, what you want to click on is manual entry, meaning you're going to put the data in. This software has the ability to read probes, so that is why you have other options. So what you're going to do is put in the atomic number for your data set. So I'm just going to go down this column, and then I'm going to put the atomic radius in there. Just a second here. And it will start to graph on the left. And you don't need to really put in decimals for this set of data. So this is graphing what we call a periodic trend. So I want you to label your x-axis. So it will actually label it on your graph. So if you go to where the 3 dots are and you click on it and you see column options, it will then give you a place to put your name. So this is where you're going to put the name of the column, excuse me. You could put atomic number, you could just use as a symbol, and we don't need any units here, and hit apply. And so then it will populate it down here in the graph and on the table. Go to column options for Y and put radius. And this is where you're going to put the units. So this is going to be in picometers. A PM is a picometer. Then when you see data set, you want to click on that, and you're going to rename this set period 2. So you could type in the whole word period 2, or you could just do PER and then put 2 and put rename. And then over here on the left, you will see the radius is labeled atomic number. Go to this little symbol down here where it says graph tools and click on that and hit edit graph options. So this is where you're going to put the title, which you're going to say atomic radius or radii versus, oops, be helpful if I type correctly, versus atomic number. And for this, I want you to put both the lines and the points, but you can change the just be points, or you could just be lines. I want you to do both for this. And this is where you could scale it, but it will scale it according to the data that you have. So you don't really need to worry about that, and click enter. And then you have a complete graph for that set of data. Now for this one, I do want you to do period 3, 4, and 5 on the same graph. So how do I do that? So you go over here and you click on the top 3 dots, and you're going to say add new data set. And so this is where you could add then period 3. And the nice thing is, if you've already labeled your X and Y axis, it's just going to repopulate it. So the only thing you're going to have to do is rename this period 3, and it will then show up that way on your data table. Okay. The only tricky part I find with this program is to figure out, how do I see? So like if I put in 11 and then I put in the 186, which is period 3's data, and then I go to 12, and then I do 160. And I'll do another one just because it looks kind of weird. Oops. If I want to see both sets of data, I click over on the y-axis and I click on this to show both sets of data on the same graph. So that's probably the biggest mystery that took forever to figure out. So you're going to continue with period 3, 4, and 5, and then you're going to save this. So my best suggestion for this is to go for Untitled and go to Export. And I would say export it as a graph image, so a PNG. And this is where, again, you're going to put it in some kind of folder that you can locate sometime later. Again, this is for your, so I'm going to say sample graph. You could say atomic size, put your name on it, all of those things that will be helpful for you to find this, because then you could import that image into a Google Doc or anything else that you need to do. So again, it's a pretty nice, simple program. I think the trickiest parts are the ones that I kind of showed you in this video. So hopefully that will help you in graphing.